Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Islam Muhammad Rizhan from Team 6. So today I will be presenting the part B for our project 1, which is for code smelling and refactoring. So this is the list of our teammates, and this is the table of contents, which includes the identification of the code smells, that how the detection is done for the code smells, and then the refactoring techniques and the modified class diagram as well. So first of all, the system that we are using is the multiple UTF project, which is already hosted in database. So there are a number of ways in which the code base of this system can be improved. So this code smells in the multiple UTM project. This paper describes the some of the relevant code smells in the multiple UTM project and describes how to fix them through refactoring. So this will provide an in-depth review of the system and the modifications done after the refactoring. So the front end of this medieval system is developed using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and the handlebars for responsive UI. The uh, architectural pattern it follows is MVC, and for backend, the we Node.js was used along with Express framework, and for the database, it was MongoDB. So this is the user system class diagram before the refactoring. So let's now uh, come on to the code smells, the identification of the code smells. So this section will show the different code smells that have been identified. So first one is the long method. The long method is found in the register function, register method in authcontroller.js of the system. So here we see that the method is very long. uh, okay, so first of all, before seeing the method, we can say that this method handles a lot of things like validating the input, handling the error, processing the data, and then connecting with the database and also managing the session. So it has a lot of functions. So all these functions are merged into the register method. So we will discuss in the code later. So the other code smell that we found is the future envy. For this one we found the login function to have this code smell. Basically, this login function is basically controlling the is mostly is close is strongly coupled with the patient model in the code base. So these two components are becoming very dependent on each other, which should not be here. So the login function is basically performing the functions of the model patient model. So this should not be the case. So that's why the feature NP is has been identified in this case. So yeah, it's written here. The login method reaches out to the patient model for data and changes. This responsibility should lie with the patient model itself. So patient model is relying on the on too much of the login method for the authentication, which should not be the case. So how the code smells were detected? So the first code smell, which is the long method, was detected by manual detection. The developer manually counted the number of lines of code, and then this method, if provided as shown, tops 50 lines. For this reason, it's potentially is faulty. So the logic of the method to get an idea of its complexity and any nested conditions, multiple loops, and the overall amount of code involved. The second code smell was also detected using the manual detection, and it was detected in the login method and the patient model of in the database. So the main role of the login method is to handle authentication. However, it's directly accessing and manipulating the data of the patient model. This clearly breaks the encapsulation because the patient's model function should be carried in the patient model itself. So tools implemented an additional consideration. Source code editors can count lines of code in methods, and based on their count, they can alert a developer to possibly choose long methods. So if it's long, so we can identify that the method is possibly very long, and it will also help to bring out pre-identified problems such as code envy amongst others. So let's discuss the code refactoring techniques now. So the first refactoring technique that we used is the extract method. This one was used in the code smelling problem number one, which is the long method. So basically, extract method refers to extracting functions uh, from a function, from a method, extracting more methods from it, so that they can also define specific tasks and not make a single method long. So in this case, the method is the register method. So the register method has to uh, is very long, so it's divided into other submodules, which we will discuss in a bit. And then the other technique that we use is the move method. So the move method is basically moving the fields, the class methods from one class to another. So in this case, the authentication modules authentication functions are moved from the login method to the patient data model. So here's the first one, the extract method. This is the existing code. We can see that the existing code, it's a very long method. Here we can see this is a single method, which is the register method. So after refactoring, we can divide the register method to a separate. We can include the register method also, and also include other methods in the same code, so that the register method becomes small, and it's the all the tasks in the register method are divided into three methods together. So the first one is the handle validation errors, which will handle the errors. If there is any errors in the input, then this one will validate the registry input, like if the username is empty or something, it will print out an error statement. And the other one is the create patient data. So this will create the patient data upon the register after successful registration. So in this way, the refactoring is done for the register one, which is a long method. So the second method is the move method, which is implemented in the patient model from the login method. So this is the login method. So here we can see that the existing code, the authentication of the patient model was done in this login one. So this was creating a feature envy, as we discussed. So this is the existing code of the model. Here we can see no authentication. So in the refactoring code, what we did is we included an authenticate a method in the login component, and then what we did is we included that login method and in that authenticate thing in the patient module, so that the authentication can happen in the patient model, and it does not have to depend on the login one. So this is the redesigned class diagram of the system, multiple system. So here basically the no classes are introduced, but the classes new methods are introduced in the classes, because we can see that the register method got three new functions, and the people the patient model also got new functions for authentication. So those are included in this design class diagram. So that's it for the code spelling identification and the solution providing by refactoring. In addition to what was achieved, actually running the system through the following principles of refactoring for initialization the thoroughly after refactoring changes is rather important. This would involve the execution of the functional tests to ensure that the functionality brought about by the original version was supported, integration testing to assert how various modules and classes all work well with each other, and regression testing to assure that no new bugs have been introduced and everything else is still working according to expectation. So that's it for the presentation. Thank you very much.